episode. I really didn't know how else to start this one. Okay, so welcome back to Amphibia. This is episode 4, the Domino Effect. Again with these puns, it's interesting to see these ideas with them because, like you hear the word domino effect and it's like, okay, if something's gonna happen and it's gonna lead to this and this and this and this and this and this. So in this episode, it's so interesting to see these episode titles, and you either don't get what it means, or you think it's gonna start off as one thing, but then it comes something different. So in this episode, the domino effect is Anne getting a new pet that she names Domino 2 because it looks like her pet cat Domino from her world. So yeah, I mean they have the right. I can tell these creators have fun with this, and the writer and just everyone. And I think that's when you know you got a good show, is like when you can tell just based off the writing and like the animation and just the sheer atmosphere and personality behind this, you got a good show on your hands. So pretty much, yeah, that's pretty much what this episode is, with Anne bringing a new pet home. And so the thing is, so it all starts when she and Sprig are playing baseball with a sigh as the bat and a melon as the ball. I mean, yeah, I can't say I've seen more creative ways to play baseball. I really can't. So, so pretty much Anne, like, she hits the ball. No, she doesn't hit the ball. She slices the melon in half because, it's a sigh. But then she accidentally lets go of the sigh, and so it flies towards Sprig. Sprig's hat gets split, revealing that he has hair, as Anne does point out. She's like, "You have hair?" And it's like, yeah, that is a weird thing. So they go and get the sigh, but then when they go and get the sigh, they find this cat-erpillar. Because literally that's pretty much what it is. It's a caterpillar, but it looks like a cat, but with like extra legs, and it doesn't move like a cat. It does the caterpillar thing, it like does. I can't really do it like that. I think I can't do it. So Anne is so amazed by the cat because she picks it up and shows it to Sprig, and then she pulls out her phone and shows a picture of her cat to Sprig. Yeah, it's like the same shot because, I mean, minus the extra legs like that this caterpillar has. And so, like, Anne's like, "Oh, my pet Domino back at home. She was so irreplaceable. And now I found a replacement." I love the writing. It's getting really fun. I'm really having fun with this, especially with. I'm glad I'm able to do this as my first viewing, my first viewing of these episodes. Because like I said, for the Owl House vlog series, it was my second go with those episodes. So I imagined giving my opinion the first time around would have been a lot more energetic than I had for Hot House. But I mean, I still love this. I still love both. I'm really into this show now, pretty much. I mean, especially after the last episode, as I mentioned, I'm really into this show right now. And yeah, it's writing like this. It's subtle, but it's really good. So Anne takes Domino to home, and so Hop at first, you're kind of like, okay, well, what's Hop Pop gonna think about it? And yeah, Hop Pop is like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, she doesn't show Hop Pop the pet. Like, Sprig comes in, he's like, "So, Hop Pop, how you doing?" And Hop Pop's like, "What's the pet?" Pretty much. And like he goes on a rant about this pet tarantula that they had named Charlie. I forget the name. I honestly forget the name, even though he brings it up so many times in the episode. He's like even Sprig uses it as a distraction. He's like, "Hey, Hop Hop, remember when Charlie whatever did this?" And he's like, "Oh, how can I forget?" I mean, I don't know why I keep doing the Hop Hop accent. Maybe it's because I just like that. Oh man, I'm really bad right now. Okay, so with Hop Hop basically not on board with the pet and has to sneak Domino with her to the basement, which is pretty straightforward, and it's weird because like Sprig points out how Domino 2 kind of gives him these weird vicious looks, and we soon find out why that is. But in the meantime, like Anne is having fun with Domino 2, despite the fact that it's a stray, and she does get a lot of claw marks on her face. There's one shot where you just see Anne, like I think Anne was sleeping, and you just see like her face is fine here, but then she turns over and you see all these scratch marks on her, and it's just like, okay. I mean, I never had a cat as a pet, and I probably never will. Not because I'm not like what am I kidding? I'm not a cat person. Like, and it's not because I don't like cats in general. It's just that I grew up with a dog. I grew up with dogs. Like I had a dog when I was really young, and I pretty much grew up with it. And so it's just having that connection with a dog while growing up was really a lot. So I feel like if I got a cat, even if it was like a really nice cat, even though we all know how sinister cats can get, I don't know if I'll be 100% on board with having one. I don't even know if I'll ever have a pet again. I mean, maybe down the line when if I have a family, I'll get a dog because you gotta like dogs. I'm sorry, cat people, if I'm offending you. This is how I am. So, so pretty much everything kind of is seemingly going well, but that's when Domino 2 goes into this kind of like cocoon, and so that's when, and of course it's when Anne and Sprig aren't there, and so they're upstairs eating dinner, and then they then hear a bump downstairs, and Hop Hop's like, "Was that a pet?" And it's like, "Oh boy!" And then they go downstairs, and then they see the cocoon is open, but they don't know where Domino 2 is. So then, they have to pretty much confess, and I think it was Sprig who said like, "Oh, we found this caterpillar in the forest. It looked just like Anne's pet from the human world. Black with white stripes, black with white stripes, or was it black with white dots?" It was one of the two, because once Sprig brought up the white dot stripe thing, that's when Hop Hop was like, "What?" And he basically it turns out that it's not a caterpillar, it's a killer pillar. I'm pretty sure that's what he said. I think that's along the line of what he said, because, and he then Hop Hop goes on to explain that this thing, once it only gets the white spots when it's about to do its metamorphosis, and once it goes through its metamorphosis, it then becomes this, as we see, it's like a butterfly moth monster thing, because it's got butterfly wings. It kind of does look like a moth a bit, but it still looks like a cat. But it even has like cat arms and legs, but it's multiple because it's now technically a butterfly. And it really reminds me of something out of Adventure Time, if I'm being 100% honest, because that's literally my first, like, when I saw it, I'm like, first show that popped into my head was Adventure Time. I'm like, yeah, I feel like that's something Jake and Finn would have been running for their life from, like, so, it starts, it takes Sprig, Polly, and Hop Hop, and has to figure out, and basically has to get rid of it before it eats them, and so what she does is she takes her little mouse toy that she used to kind of have play with Domino 2 when it was a caterpillar, to distract it, and she leads it out of the house and basically sends it off. And pretty much we don't see it again. And I like how this creature was dealt with like this. Like, we didn't have to, like, there really wasn't a fight. There really wasn't like, oh, we gotta take this down somehow. And just pretty much let it out of the house and, like, to the wild, pretty much. I like shows that kind of do that, because you think you kind of got the repetitiveness with the handful of monsters we've already dealt with. Like, oh, how do we defeat this? Oh, let's do this. How do we defeat this? Oh, we just do this. Oh, how do we defeat this? Oh, we just do this. So I like how this one, it's more of just, we gotta get this out of here. So, and I like that. And, Anne kind of has that moment with it, and it's just like, yeah, goodbye. And then, and then they get back, and, they're like, sorry, I brought in a pet. I know you don't like pets and stuff. And then Hop has this immense breakdown when they bring up the transsol again. He's like, I love Charlie! And he does like the cartoonish comedic cry. Like, he leans his head back and just like waterfall tears appear from it. For me, it's such an out of the blue moment that I couldn't stop laughing. And again, it's just, to me, that's kind of clever, because it's like, you wouldn't expect that from Hop. Just the over the top delivery they have on it is so good. And I'm glad it's just so funny. And they don't end it there, though. And honestly, I think that would have been hilarious if they ended it there. But they keep going, and Anne is down in her room, and Sprig comes down and gives Anne this weird plushie of Domino 2, and it's not even close. Like, it looks like this weird WTF thing. And he's like, I made it out of his fur, or her fur. Was it a he or she? I completely forgot. He basically made it out of Domino 2's fur, and he's like, you hate it, don't you? I know, it's kind of creepy, I know. And then Anne just interrupts him and just screams, I love it! And then it cuts there. I mean, that's a good place to end it, I thought. But I was like, if they ended with the Hop Pop breakdown moment, maybe that would have been a lot funnier. But yeah, you gotta patch out the runtime, So I'm not mad. I like this episode. It was very entertaining. The jokes, the unexpected funny moments are really good, and I love it when they catch me off guard with stuff like that. But now I'm kind of like keeping eyes on that, especially with the next episode. I mean, not because I went into it expecting something like that. It was just the fact that I was caught off guard once again in the next episode. Okay, you know what? Let's stop talking about this episode. I like this episode. Now let's talk about the next episode, huh? Is that a good deal? Anyone?